the things you gotta do. Always moving forward, always on the go. I hope you take a moment to take it slow. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break, it'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your pain.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a really chill vlog because I'm like really tired and lazy. My exams are nearing, but I'm still keeping up with the reading because I would go insane because it's too much of a pressure, and if I don't do reading and all, then I think I would die. My brain needs rest. So yes, we are reading the A Movieable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. It's not exactly fiction. It's like memoirs when Ernest Hemingway was poor and it was Paris with his first wife. Was writing, wasn't an established writer, but was trying to get established. He was writing day and night and just exploring Paris, and this whole book is about how the life was in Paris. Even if he was poor, he was living his fullest, and he was trying his best to become the writer that he wants to. And it's just so beautiful. Let me just read you one line. Ernest Hemingway wrote this to a friend in 1950, like in a letter. If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you. For Paris is a movable feast, like a feast that moves with you, which stays with you until the end of your life. That's what it says. So we are going to read this book throughout this vlog and have like cozy times and all of that. Also, I wanted to give you my reading updates. Last time I told you that I'm reading In the Woods. I'm done with the In the Woods. And also I read another book that is called Stone Maidens, which is like really popular on TikTok these days. I read it, I gave it 3 stars. It has more potential, it could have been like better, but anyways, kudos to the writer who wrote it. And I just cannot imagine 14 years of writing and patience and not getting sold off, but now the patience has already paid him off. Now my current reads are this book, okay, and another book that I'm reading is The Marlowe Murder Club, which is basically 3 old aged people. That group is like led by Judith, who is 77 years old, and they are trying to solve a murder case that has like happened. Stephen, who is the neighbor of Judith, has been shot and has been killed, but police believe that it is not a murder but an accident, or most probably a suicide. So Judy does not believe that because she has her own reasons. So she is going to investigate. Crime thriller has a subgenre called cozy mysteries. So this is a cozy mystery because sexual crime, violence, and cursing, a lot of gritty things happen off stage. It is not in the book. The book is quite clean. So there is a murder, but there is not a lot of gritty details about it, so it's kind of cozy. And also these kind of mysteries are solved by amateur sleuths who are not exactly detectives, but just normal people who try to solve the case, based or set in a very close-knit community or in a small town or in a countryside. Like, I'm not a big fan of cozy mysteries because I am into gritty things. I want everything really fast paced, but after reading 2 really gritty murderous books, I want some time off. That's why I have chosen that book. So yeah, that was my reading update. Let's get into this vlog. to talk about this book that I am reading currently and few thoughts about it. And also, while I talk to you, I am trying to make my newest bookmark right here. So yeah, let's do it. So as I have already told you that this book is about a man who is in like his early 20s, and he is living in Paris right now with his first wife, and he is really poor and is struggling writer and all of that, but he is kind of enjoying Paris, and through his eyes I'm enjoying too. It's just so beautiful, and like has really good writing advices as well. Let me tell you one of his writing advice. Yeah, it says, I always worked until I had something done, and I always stopped when I knew what was going to happen next. That way I could be sure of going on the next day. It is such a good writing advice. It basically means that when you have something planned out for your writing, just write half of it and do not complete it, because if you do not, then you okay, I know what's going to happen next, so you will be prepared for tomorrow and you would want to pick up your writing from there. Completely agree, because I have felt that so much. I write in a jiffy. Oh my god, that's a really good point. And next, I don't have anything to write about. It's such a great book to read during springs. Like, it describes springs in such a beautiful manner. So it describes springs like this: when spring came, even the fall spring, there were no problems except where to be happiest. The only thing that could spoil a day was people, and if you could keep from making engagements, each day had no limits. People were always the limiters of happiness, except for the very few that were as good as spring itself. So basically an introvert ideology. Stay away from people, you will be happy, and that's what he said. In a good spring day, stay away from people. Hi, we are finally at the end of this video, and I can finally tell you my thoughts on this book. This book is basically a memoir written by Ernest Hemingway, one of the greatest writer in American history. and he writes about his early life as a writer in Paris in 1920s. And he has, as per my research, written this in late 1950s and early 1960s. He was already in his fourth marriage by then, and this book is when he was in his first marriage and as an unestablished author, and meeting a lot of great authors that we know today as Ezra Pound and Sylvia Blythe, as far as I know, Gertrude Stein, and F. Scott Fitzgerald, one of my personal favorites. We get a lot of insights in his life. He talks about a lot of discipline in his writing routine, focuses a lot where he writes. He cannot be writing anywhere. He needs a particular place where everything is, inspiring and undisturbing at the same time, because he does not want to get interrupted when he writes, but it has to be inspiring. Not everything has to be quiet. He talks about F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda Fitzgerald. Zelda Fitzgerald is the wife of F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I found out that Zelda Fitzgerald is actually the one who served F. Scott Fitzgerald from writing, basically. Like, F. Scott Fitzgerald got into his biggest writing slump after he finished writing Great Gatsby, because Zelda Fitzgerald was so jealous of him that she would always ridicule him and make him feel small about him. He also insulted him sexually. I cannot go into details, but yeah, she went ballistic, she went crazy. She wanted all of the attention. She didn't want him to be successful. And Ernest Hemingway directly told this to Scott Fitzgerald, but he could not believe it because he loved his wife so much. But anyway, later on he understood when his wife went psycho, how wife went had a great nervous breakdown. And he also talks about his cheating. Like, he does not talk about it directly because I think he's embarrassed or something, but he talks about how he met his second wife indirectly and how exactly the cheating started, and he just could not believe that he could love someone. There's a line, let me read it for you. I wished I had died before I ever loved anyone but my wife. But he had already fallen for that girl, and the wife found out. Everything went down and whatever, but he regrets it because she was a really good wife. Then it's not in the book, but he again cheats on the second wife and then on the third wife, and when he's on his fourth wife, he commits suicide, or it was an accident. It's a mystery. And I loved the book. I never thought I would like a non-fiction so much, so highly recommended. I know, sorry for the dress change. It's because I completely forgot to mention a book that I loved to pieces and devoured it bit by bit, which is Marlowe Murder Club. I finished this yesterday night and hadn't filmed any conclusion to it, and I was about to save my video, but then I remembered, okay, I have to talk about it. I loved it so much. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and it's such a good book. I had so low expectation from it because I am not a big fan of cozy mysteries, as I said before. This is something that completely blew me off. It's, of course, it ticks all the cozy mystery criterias, but it's just not that only. It's more than that. 3 women solving case, and it's just not so many simple case. It's a really difficult case, and the way it has been written, the mystery is really good. It's not one of the best that I've read, I'm not saying that, but the way it has been written, last 50 pages are literally adrenaline rush for me. I was late at night reading, and oh my god, I was so reading it fast because I was what's happening, and until the last line there was reveal. Okay, it's absolutely amazing. You gotta read it. It's really beginner friendly as well. If you're a beginner, you have never read a book in your life, you can read this because English is easy and it's really catchy to read. It's cozy, and you just fall in love with these 3 women with 3 different backgrounds, and each having their own problems and mysteries and what's or not, but 3 coming together, overcoming the differences and solving this freaking murder. What else do you need? It was amazing. I love this book. Highly recommended for everybody who has never read a book. Read it.